بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم آمين. وبعد. We continue with the common mistakes in Salah, short lessons. The next masail that I want to speak about connect to the topic of khushu'. And we've spoken about khushu' for, I believe, 2 nights. And we said that the objective of prayer is khushu'. That is the essence of prayer, is to be humble, to be aware before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي, and establish the prayer for my remembrance. And so our Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, in the ahadith, he commanded us, and he also forbade certain things that might contradict khushu'. And so one of those things, he alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, إِذَا حَضَرَ الْعَشَاءَ وَالْعِشَاءَ فَقَدِّمُوا الْعَشَاءَ. He said alayhi salatu wasalam, if food and Isha prayer, dinner and Isha prayer were to come at the same time, put your dinner first. And our scholars say the purpose of this, the wisdom behind it, is so that when the person prays their salah, they don't have a need that is distracting them from focusing in prayer. And so if they're hungry and a meal is presented before them, they should eat their meal first. Even if the adhan is called, even if the iqamah is called, and everybody's going to salah. But they're hungry, the meal has been presented before them, they should eat their meal first and then come to the salah afterwards. And so that is one of the commands and teachings of our Messenger ﷺ. Another ruling he also taught, that a person should never enter the salah while they're dealing with the akhbathan. And the akhbathan are the need to relieve oneself. And so if a person has the need, the urge to relieve oneself, the Prophet ﷺ forbade prayer. He said, do not pray. If you need to use the restroom, use the restroom first and relieve yourself. And come to the salah in a state of tranquility, in a state of peace and calmness, and then make your salah. Even if you miss the jama'ah, even if you pray by yourself, it is more important for you to use the restroom and pray with a sense of calmness. Why? The reward of your salah depends on your khushu'. We said in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said that a man will receive 1/10 of his prayer, meaning the reward of 1/10, 1/9, 1/8, 1/7, all the way to, he said ﷺ, half. So a man will continue to receive ajr for his salah according to how much he's able to focus in his salah. And so if a person needs to use the restroom and they enter the salah, and and same can be said if they need to pass gas, and they're suppressing their urge to do this in order, I don't want to make wudu again, because of, subhanallah, the human being خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. The human being is always hasty. And the human being is also, subhanallah, nature, right, lazy. We don't want to be burdened, I don't want to make wudu again. That's the nafs al-ammara, right? That's our weak side, right? That's the side of ourself that commands us to do things we know we shouldn't do. So ourself, naturally the nafs is hasty and the nafs is lazy. And so it tells you it's okay, just you pray your 4 rak'at quickly and then khalas, you don't have to make wudu. You're going to have to use water and you get wet and dry yourself. That's the process, right? And subhanAllah, is this the waswas of the nafs, the ammara. And so the mu'min has to be wiser than that and follow the guidance of the Messenger ﷺ and not enter the salah in a condition where they have a need, a physical need, such as eating, or the need to relieve themselves by using the restroom. They should first, meet their needs, fulfill their needs, and then come to the salah in a state of peace and calmness. And the more they're able to do that, and the more ajr they get for their salah. Now they're praying their salah, they're not rushing, they're able to focus on their tilawah, they're able to make their proper sujood and ruku' and so on and so forth. And so that's another mas'ala. A third mas'ala, also pertaining to this, we see from the sunnah of our Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, is that he says, إِذَا أَتَيْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَلَا تَأْتُوهَا وَأَنْتُمْ تَسْعُونَ. Or كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام, he said, if you come to the prayer, do not come while you're making sa'i, while you're rushing, while you're running. وَأْتُوا وَعَلَيْكُمُ السَّكِينَةِ. Come to the prayer while there is sakina on you. What is sakina? Sakina is sukoon, to be calm. So don't come to the prayer running or jogging or walking really fast. Why? So you can catch the ruku'. Or so you don't miss the jama'ah. Or for whatever reason it might be. And so the Prophet ﷺ says, come to the prayer while you are in a state of sakina. And so, subhanAllah, again, the human being is what? Ajul. The human being is hasty. Right? And Allah doesn't command us to be hasty to salah. We're being hasty because of our own, lack of discipline. We're being hasty because of our own lack of applying the sunnah. Right? But it isn't the command of Allah to be hasten to salah to the extent that you come and your heart is racing, you have a shortness of breath, and you enter salah with this, distracting rush, and this is forbidden. The Prophet says, don't do this. It's not haram, it's makruh. These are all part of adab that are what? Makruh from a fiqhi perspective. And so the believer, when he comes to salah, he should not enter the salah in a state of sa'i or in a state of hastiness. A fiqhi issue here is, we know that our scholars generally agree that if the imam joins the salah, if the ma'mum, the person following the imam, joins the salah while the imam is in ruku', the rak'ah counts for him. So, ittifaq bin al-fuqaha. The fuqaha generally across the four madhahib, they agree. It's an explicit hadith. If you catch the imam while he's in ruku', you have the rak'ah. A mistake that often is made is that people enter ruku' while the imam is ascending from ruku'. He's getting up from ruku'. And this is not sufficient. Our scholars, they say, in order for the ruku' to count and the rak'ah to count, the imam and the ma'mum, the person following, they must simultaneously be in the ruku' together. They have to share at least a moment where they are both in ruku'. But if the ma'mum is descending while the imam is ascending, right? The ma'mum is going down and the imam is saying, Sami'a Allahu liman hamida. Or the ma'mum went down and the imam went right up, as soon as the ma'mum went down, the rak'ah doesn't count. From a fiqhi perspective, it doesn't count. The imam and the ma'mum must simultaneously be in the ruku' together, otherwise the rak'ah does not count. Another mas'ala pertaining to this issue is that when a person enters the salah, they're obligated to make takbirat al-ihram, which is the opening takbir. And so when they make takbirat al-ihram, then they make a second takbir to go for ruku'. What is the common mistake that is made? They want to catch the ruku', right? They're late to prayer. And subhanAllah, again, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجْزٍ. The human being is hasty. It doesn't hurt you if you made up one more rak'ah, right? There's no reason, it's a minute, a couple minutes, right? But subhanAllah, the human being doesn't think rationally, we just think hasty. I want to get it done so I'm not behind, or I don't have to do an extra rak'ah by myself. And so, when entering the salah, takbirat al-ihram has to be done in the position of qiyam. When a person says Allahu Akbar and they enter the salah, they have to be in a position of qiyam. If they say Allahu Akbar and they go into ruku', they have not entered the prayer yet. They haven't entered the prayer. Takbirat al-ihram, one of its prerequisites is that it has to be said in the position of qiyam in the fard prayers. In the Tarawih prayer, you can pray sitting if you like. It's fine. Sunnah prayers, by the way, you can pray sitting. It isn't, you get half the ajr. It's in the hadith. If you pray Sunnah prayer sitting, you get half the ajr. You're not required. It's encouraged. But in the fard prayers, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, Takbirat al-Ihram has to be made in the position of qiyam. And so the common mistake that folks might make is when they enter the salah, they want to catch the ruku', and they don't take a moment to say Takbirat al-Ihram properly and then go to ruku'. Rather, they make ruku' and Takbirat al-Ihram together. They're like Allahu Akbar and they're descending. And again with that, their takbirah is invalid. So therefore what? They never started salah. Their salah never began. And this person is praying, thinking, okay, I caught the rak'ah. You didn't catch the whole salah, forget the rak'ah. Right? And so that's a major mistake, right? A delicate, a small detail, but that detail makes a world of a difference in salah. And so the believer must be mindful with that mas'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us understanding and to grant us humility in our salah. Allahumma ameen. Brother Adnan, you have a follow-up question?
Quick question.
Khalas, tafaddal.
About the rushing to salah.
No.
Is that also applicable to people who drive? Because I've seen some brothers speed,
No.
like, doing 40, 50, or 20.
Yeah.
Is that?
It would apply not because any type of rush accelerates the heart rate, right? And so although it isn't as intense, the question is, does driving, speeding to salah apply, the same hukum apply? It does, because it accelerates the heart rate, right? And driving is also worse because it risks the damage to other people. And so there's also the risk, if you're just running, you're not going to harm anyone, most likely, right? But with driving, the risk goes up significantly. And so yes, with salah, with driving, the karaha would also apply there. Wallahu a'lam. Wa jazakumullah khair. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi walhamdulillah rabbil alamin.